In this lesson, we're going to finish up the barrel. All right, so let's jump right into it. First thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and select the low resolution mesh, and we want to start planning out how we want the barrel to come down into the rest of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new set of polygons. And we're going to make sure that we take care of this detail right here first, and then we'll build up into the barrel. The barrel itself is pretty low resolution. There's not a lot of complicated geometry or anything like that, and so it's going to be very easy to get into that portion. We could, if we really wanted to, go ahead and bring it down and then shape that out. But I'm going to go ahead and start out with just a single plane on this. So let's go ahead and go to plane, and I'm going to go ahead and go to my left view, and let's drag and drop a plane in. Go ahead and hit F3 so you can see that, okay, through the wireframe. Release that, and let's pull that to the surface here. So we're going to pull that forward, okay, and then just go to our left view. Let's just take a look at this, what we've got. We want this to kind of butt right up against the edge there, just like so. Okay, now it looks like this surface right here on our frame looks like it may have come out just a little too far. So we'll go ahead and we'll pull that back some. Something like that. That should be good. All right. So now let's take this polygon and let's take this edge. So convert it to editable poly. Go to edge mode. Let's pull this forward in the X direction, just right there. And then we can come in and we could use the extend if we wanted to. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to take this polygon. I'm going to hold down Shift and duplicate that. Pull it down here. Just make it a copy. And then go to edge mode on it. Take this bottom edge to right about here. It's going to curve underneath, so we'll leave that alone. And then let's go ahead and attach those two together, so that way we can start to attach their geometry. Okay. And then I'm going to take this edge, I'm going to hold down Shift, I'm going to drag that out, go to vertex mode, pull this out, and I'm going to continue on right down here to the center. Pull that out like so. Start to thicken that up just a little bit in that area. Take these two polygons, or two vertices right here, and let's go ahead and make planar in the Y direction, so that way we can make sure that they are perfectly straight there. And let's take these two edges. I'm just simply going to bridge that, but then I'm going to add a segment in between, hit OK, take that new segment, just pull that out, something like this. Okay. And so then we can just come in and we can make some quick adjustments to the shape of that. Just making sure that we follow along with that edge, getting it as close as possible. All right. So now that we've got that rounded out, what we could do is go ahead and start building out the rest. So I'm just going to go to edge mode, and I'm actually going to take this vertex, I'm going to pull that up to here. And then I'm going to take this one, I'm going to pull it down in the Y. Okay, just like that. Let's straighten up these vertices here. And let's make that planar in the X. Okay, just like that. And we can pull this all the way across. See, it's a flat surface, so we don't have to worry about any geometry in between there. So we can just come in and continue to push this out and then pull that to there. All right, great. Now that's finished. Really quickly, let's go ahead and take these top sets of vertices, and let's make sure that those are planar in the Y, and do the same thing across the bottom there. Just make sure that's set right. Okay, so now let's take this, and we want to trace out the bottom. So I'm going to go to edge mode, and I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm just going to drag this across to the other side, just like so. And then we're going to go to edge mode. Let's hit ring here. Go ahead and show or turn off that, turn on isolation mode, excuse me. Select those bottom set of edges and connect that with a single edge. Pull that down. Okay, so go ahead and pull it down right about here. Now you'll notice that it's kind of cutting off the edge there on that corner. We really might want to go ahead and add maybe just one more edge in between there, so we can actually chamfer that. So we can bump that up and we can get that right where we need it to be. So we'll split that into just a few edges, or just a couple of edges, and we'll pull that down. That should give us plenty of geometry to capture that detail. All right, that looks good. Let's take this edge, or hit OK first. Let's take this edge here. I'm going to hold down Shift. Let's pull that straight up. Okay. Now, for some reason that edge, oh, I'm sorry, I grabbed the wrong edge. Let's take these two edges, hold Shift, drag that up, and let's pull that out. And you'll see that we're not quite out far enough on that edge. So let's go ahead and double click on that one. Let me hit F3. I want to get rid of those polygons really quickly. So just those two. Go to edge mode, double click on that, and let's just pull that out just a little bit more. And then we'll hold Shift, drag that up to that line there. Go to vertex mode, select that vertex and pull that forward here. Now we will need another segment to go right down the center of that, so let's just take this edge, hit ring, and then connect with a single segment and hit OK. And then all we have to do at this point is go ahead and select this edge and this one. We'll bridge that, and we'll select this one and that one and bridge that. But now, if we isolate this really quickly, you'll notice that I have a single segment right down the center there, and I'm going to go ahead and split that. Okay, so we're going to use chamfer to do that. And let's make sure that we grab both of those. Sorry about that. And we'll leave it at that same split, and then I'm just going to come in and I'm going to right click and target weld this point to here and this point to here. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to our left view. I'm going to select all the vertices all across the top of that. Let's try this one more time there. For some reason my marquee selection wasn't working. Select those vertices. Let's make sure those are planar in the Y. And then take all of these here and let's just hit make planar, and you'll see that it tries to straighten that up, but that's not quite what I want there. So let's hit F3. I just want to make sure that these are planar in the X. Let's do the same thing here. And then those are good. Actually, let's hit Control Z one time. Let's make this planar in the Y and then in the X. Okay, and then this right here, we'll just pull that forward till it's flat with that edge there. Great. Okay, so now we have that set. Let's go ahead and turn off the isolation mode. And we need some geometry to actually capture this area right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take these edges right here, and I'm just going to pull those forward to right here. Okay. And then we can add another edge in there if we wanted to, but I think what I'm going to do instead, let me pull that forward just a little bit more. What I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to inset these polygons right here. Okay. So inset that, and we just want to inset it just a little bit. Let's do 0.05, hit OK, and then you can pull those polygons out and then actually take the edge that's right there in the middle, hit F3 so you can see it selects it all the way across, and then we can pull that out to the outside edge of this, and that's just going to be enough geometry to capture that normal map. So let's pull this vertex back into position here. We'll pull this one back as well. And actually, let's take both of these at the same time just to make sure that's nice and even. And then we'll take these edges, both of those, and let's scale those in toward one another. Let's go ahead and convert our selection to vertex mode, and we'll scale that in the Z direction. And I'm going to take both those polygons. Let me go ahead and just move that up a little bit. Just kind of center that up a little bit better. Okay, and there we go. So we've got that geometry. Now the problem that I have with this, let's go ahead and isolate that, is that I've created this extra polygon on the back, which is okay, but I want to make sure that that polygon is nice and straight. Okay, so let's go to our left view, take a look at this. See how it's kind of off at an angle here? Let's make that planar in the X direction, and then I'm going to pull that back to where it's even with that backside edge there. Okay, so nice even set of polygons. All right, so now we've got just a little bit more to go on this barrel. We actually need to attach them together. And so I know I said we were going to finish this up, but you know, we've got a little bit more of a complicated shape. We've got to make sure that it's connected to the barrel, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and work on it next. In the next lesson, we'll get it connected to the barrel. We'll finish out the interior portion of the shape there, and then we'll start moving on to our next pieces. So I'll see you then.